All right. Hello, everyone. Today I want to record a video on OpenStreetMap. So I've been working a bit on OpenStreetMap. I mean, using the data that they have. So I wanted to wrap up a little video. We are going to go through a little list of tools that I've found while working on that, so that you can maybe discover OpenStreetMap. Maybe you already know that, but I think it can be useful if you work with anything that needs to be geolocated, or if you're working on land use, land cover, things like this. So OpenStreetMap basically is a very huge project of, it's basically a map which is open source. And you have a community of mappers, which are basically annotating features, objects on this map. So for example, you can go over here and you can, if I go searching for Taj Mahal, but it could really be anything. I think this is some kind of restaurants in France. Can I get the real one? Can I? Yes, I can. Okay. So as you can see, this is the Taj Mahal. This is Yamuna River. Anyway, you can see that we have here a polygon. So this is basically a mapper came and, did put some nodes. Can I zoom in to get the nodes? So anyway, this is a polygon, which was made by a mapper. And as you can see, you have a bunch of tags which comes with it, which is telling you that this is a building, that it is having an historic meaning because this is a tomb. And you have a bunch of tags like this. Obviously, all the objects are not going to be that much detailed. Okay, the nodes are here. I was looking for the nodes. As you can see, here is a node, and all the nodes are forming all together this polygon. So basically you have this, you have different kind of objects. You have nodes, which are single points with which you can describe a tree, for example. You have ways. Ways are basically some lines which are going to describe a river, which are going to describe a road, for example. You also have relations. So this is a relation, or this is a closed way, at least. So what we name a closed way is basically a way, but which is going to be closed. So the first node and the last node are overlapping, and this is forming a polygon. And you have relations which can have holes inside. So you would have like inner loop, inner circle, outer circle, so that you can, for example, detour this object, for example, to have like to separate, let's say, the dome. This is not a good example, but say you have a building with a inner courtyard, and you would like just the building, not the yard. So this is a really cool website. Obviously, it's worldwide, so you can search for many countries. All the countries are not covered equally. However, there is a lot of objects. I don't recall how many they have, but you can basically assume that there are millions of objects annotated like this. So once we have said this, what can we do with this thing? So first of all, they have a very cool wiki, which is detailing a lot of their project. So for example, as you saw, we have a bunch of tags, and sometimes it's not really clear what are those tags meaning. That's why the wiki is for. Say that you want to understand what is the tag, I mean the key natural meaning. So here you have an entire wiki which is going to tell you that this is for natural physical landscape features. And you have a lot of tags like this. And this wiki is really, really well done. It's having images, it's having also other, reference to other tags. Yeah, there is a see also section. So land cover is here. So it's a really huge project, very useful. So one thing, now that you know, for example, that the tag land cover means that this is used to describe a physical material at the surface of the earth, that's cool. You know that, you have polygons which are having these tags, but now you would like to understand what's the scale at which this tag is used. How many polygons do have that tag? How can you get information about this? This is where Taginfo comes into play. So on this website, you can type the same thing. So let's say land use. This is the tag we were interested in. And now you're going to find are really nice. I love it. This website is really neat. You're going to find all the polygon, I mean, all the objects which are having this tag land use. So it's going to break down and group by the type of objects. So as you can see, the node I was talking about is having 100K 100K nodes are having this tag. And you can see that many closed ways, I mean, many ways and many relations are having this tag as well. So this is breaking down how many objects can you hope to find in OpenStreetMap which are having that tag. Here you have a little distribution of values, so you can see farmland, residential, things like this. You can see over time how the use of this tag is evolving. How many objects do you have having that tag? Here you have the different languages, things that I like also. You can break down by values. So here you literally have all the values that this key is taking, because one thing I didn't mention also is that a tag is composed of a key and a value. So the key here is land use. Land use is kind of the category. And the value itself is literally the value that you give to that key. And so for land use, for example, one value would be, let's say, plot. So that means that this surface on the earth, the land use property of it is that this is a plot and someone is going to, I don't know, have crop on it or things like this. So this is cool. Some things that I like, we already talked about this, the chronology, so I'm not going to repeat. One thing which is really nice is that you can see the worldwide coverage of these tag, this key here. So this is really nice. You can see that for all the tags. So definitely give this a check. Here you have the languages for the wiki page which are covering that tag. So Taginfo, it is really worth it. Now that you have, say, you know what kind of tags you're interested in, you know how much they are covered worldwide and all of this thing, you want to use that data. So how do you do that? You have two options. First, there is an API which you can use. This is Overpass API. There is the Python API. I believe they have some other API in other languages if you're working with another language. So the API is useful for which use case? It's very useful if you have a specific query. If, for example, you want to retrieve that specific polygon, then you just have to query it and you're done. But it can also be the case that you are interested in all the polygons that are within the bounding box. So say you have a specific bounding box or a region or something like this, you want all the polygon in that zone. That is useful also. You can filter by tags, you can filter by type of objects. So this is very useful, but the caveat with that is that you will have to respect their API limits. And if you want to really work at scale with, say, million polygons, you will face restrictions. And this is normal, but this is a limitation. That's why I want to talk about Geofabrik. Geofabrik right over here. So what is interesting with this? So this is a German organization, and they are putting out a server for you to download basically entire chunks of the world, like continent level, country level, big files, which are having all of these objects, the nodes, the ways, the relations. So as you can see, we have the continents. So if I want to download the entire South America, I can just click that thing and done. But if you want a more fine-grained thing, let's say I'm interested in Africa, and specifically Botswana, I can download just that country. I don't know if they are, no, they are not. But let me show you another thing. If I go to Europe and say I'm clicking France, you see France, you can also divide it further. They have more granularity at the region level. So you basically would find that for countries which are having a lot of data. Here, France is having how much? France is having almost 5 gigabytes, which is a lot. And so you can divide by regions. So this is really nice. So you can really go, to the granularity that is useful for you. And so if you want to work at scale, definitely, I would say forget the API. Download your thing locally, and then you will be able to process it. They have the zip format. I'm using the PBF one. Don't really know if that makes a difference or not. But yeah, so that's all for the video. I hope it was interesting. I hope that you learned something. If you have any question, don't forget, you can ping me anytime. And yeah, thanks for watching.